What's up, everybody? Today is February 25th, 2024, and I'm going to be talking about the Apple Vision Pro in this video. So, for starters, obviously, I don't have one. Unfortunately, I don't have $3,500 sitting around so that I could purchase one and review it and show it to you and, you know, really give a good review on it. But I have watched several videos of other people who got one. People are like, oh, I'm going to be using my Apple Vision Pro for 24 hours and, just videos like that. And then I looked up on the website a little bit, excuse me, about it. And so I'm just going to talk about it and give you my opinion of, the general. Obviously, I can't review the product directly, but I could tell you what I think about the whole concept of it. So that's what I'm going to do. So first of all, the Apple Vision Pro, from my understanding, it's an augmented reality device. It's perhaps augmented reality and as well virtual reality, but at the very least, I know it is AR, augmented reality. And so just real quick, the difference between those two. So virtual reality is you're completely immersed in the thing that you're doing, video game or whatever. So imagine playing a video game on your Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. And now if you're playing a video game with a device on your head, that would be virtual reality. You're completely immersed in the thing that you're doing. Whereas augmented reality is like with the Apple Vision Pro is you have these goggles on and they're not see-through like a pair of sunglasses. They're it's opaque, it's not transparent, but they have cameras that allows you to see out. Okay, and so imagine if I had them on. Again, unfortunately, I don't have that product because I don't have the money to buy it. But imagine if I had them on, I would see the world normally as I would, but through cameras. And the augmented reality part is that one, I could perhaps like add, I want to say filters. Like I could have like a little character up on a shelf, or I could see like a YouTube screen or a video game screen through my glasses. So I'm seeing reality, but I'm also seeing these augmented things that aren't in reality, basically things that aren't around me, but that's created by the device. So that's augmented reality. So basically, it's an enhancement of reality. So you're seeing reality again through the camera lenses, if you will, and the device can create images. I mean, I don't know what fully the device could do, but say I had it on and I'm looking around and I could create like a sun, or I could put clouds, or I could see an avatar of somebody or something like that. Or again, I could pull up a YouTube screen, or maybe I can go on Amazon and shop. And so I would see a little screen of that, and as well I see my normal. So I could still like walk around and do things. Whereas in virtual reality, you can't see out into the real world. So that's augmented reality. Okay, and that's again what the Apple Vision Pro seems to be from the videos I've watched and on the actual Apple website from what I've read or whatever. Now, what do I think about it? So I'm optimistic about it. I am very optimistic about it. Particularly for education. So I envision a time, maybe soon, maybe even right now, where children in a classroom, say there's whatever, 20 kids in a classroom, and they all have this on, and maybe the teacher has their Apple Vision Pro or other augmented reality device on as well. And say it's an astronomy teacher, and the astronomy teacher is talking about the planets in the solar system. And the astronomy teacher is talking about, the moon and Mars and Pluto or whatever else things in the solar system, right? Okay, now historically, or in general school, the teacher talks about that. The best you could do is, one, you could see pictures in a book, a textbook. Oh, this is, what Mars looks like, and you kind of get an idea of it, or whatever you imagine in your mind, right? And that's about as far as you can go. The teacher tries to explain it as much as they can. For example, um, there is a moon in our solar system called Io, and it's I can't remember if it's a moon of Jupiter or Saturn, or what planet. But anyhow, it's a volcanically active planet, right? And I took astronomy in college, and whatever. And they talked about this, and again, they might have some pictures in the textbook, and you could kind of try to envision it in your mind. Basically, a moon that's all like just volcanoes and lava, right? And so it's a fascinating thing, right? But you can't see it, okay? But now with this augmented reality device, imagine, again, you're in the classroom with all the kids and the teacher, and you all have the augmented reality device, and you could actually go to Io, or to Pluto, or to Mars, or whatever. And I don't know, maybe the kids can all have their little avatars and a little spacesuit. You create whatever you want, and they could walk around that place, and they could actually see it. They could actually, wow. So that's what it looks like. So again, the kids have their goggles on, and they're looking around. Oh wow, so this is what the planet or the moon actually looks like. And you can see the volcanoes erupting, and you're like, oh, I could see Earth in the distance, or I could see Jupiter in the distance. And so for me, that's one of the best things of this Apple Vision Pro, or again, products like it, for education. I mean, even in history class, history class is all about um, basically using your imagination, kind of, because there's not even pictures. Like when a teacher's talking about something from, I don't know, 1700s, and some war or some battle or whatever it is, we don't have pictures or video or anything back then. So the teacher is just trying to describe it in words as best as he or she can, and then students, you're trying to envision it in your mind. But again, with these augmented reality devices, you could go there again. If the kids had it on, and it could take you to 1750 or whatever. I don't know history. I don't know what years any wars or anything went on. But you could go and you could see the battles, and you could, as if you're really there. So for any class, again, astronomy, for history, for any kind of, even math, I remember me, for example, my eyesight is not so good. So I remember sometimes I was sitting in the back of the classroom, and I can't see the board too well. And so the math teachers say, scribbling stuff on the board, hey teacher, I can't see it, so you have to come up front, and they would try to get me to see it up front, all this kind of stuff, right? But with the augmented reality, doesn't matter if I'm sitting in the back, if we all have our devices on, and we're all in this augmented reality world, and I can see the teacher writing on the board, basically like right in front of me, something like that, you know what I mean? So anyhow, so my general point is, I love, 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 love the idea of this augmented reality for educational purposes. 100%. And the last thing I'll say in that, as far as education, I know people right away are gonna be like, well, Matt, those Apple Vision Pro things cost $3,500 a pop. You can't, a school can't afford to buy every kid in the school one of those, right? And you're right, okay? But now remember, I'm 40 years old, 41, about to be 42. And I was around when PCs, personal computers, first started to enter schools. Okay, I was in school before, in the 80s, before any kind of computer was in the classroom, and I was also in school when they started to bring computers into the schools, right? And when it first started, when the school started to first buy computers for the school, what did I just say? When the school administrator started to buy the computers for the kids in the school, what they did at first, instead of buying every kid a PC, which they couldn't do because PCs were very expensive back then, in the thousands again, what they did was buy, like, say, 10 or 20 PCs, and they put them in a room and they called it a computer room. So that's how it was in schools when PCs first came out. Every kid didn't have their own PC. Laptops weren't a thing yet. Instead, they had a computer room. So there was like, again, like, I don't know, 10 or 20 PCs in a room, and each class would get a certain amount of time, an hour or whatever it was, and be like, okay, you guys come in for an hour, and you can go in the computer room, and again, they do math or science, and sometimes we're able to play games or whatever. And then eventually, obviously, when computers got cheaper, laptops came out and this and that. They were able to have computers in classrooms. Eventually, obviously kids are having their own laptops or like MacBook type things, and then obviously nowadays kids have their own tablets or phones where you could do a lot of stuff. And basically every kid has a computer, whether it's a tablet or a phone or a laptop or something like that. As they've gotten cheaper. And so my point in that is, of course, that right now, schools can't afford, or most schools can't afford to buy all the children in the school an Apple Vision Pro at 30, especially at $3,500 a pop, right? But maybe at first, buy 10 or 20 of them and have just like we did when we were kids, have a sort of a computer room, and they have them in there, and each class can come in for an hour or so and try it out, and and whatever teachers, again, like the science teacher, math teacher, astronomy teacher, they come in and they run their curriculum for an hour or so using those devices. I mean, this is just an idea, an example. My point is, I think they'll slowly, these augmented reality devices, they'll slowly get into the schools and into the classrooms. Again, it's not that I'm saying that, right away every kid's going to have one. No, of course, because they're really expensive. But eventually, maybe for starters, a few of them so the kids could test them out, see how it is, see how the kids like it, see how the teachers like it. And then as the devices get cheaper, other companies are going to make them, and they're going to get cheaper, whatever. And then maybe eventually, like with cell phones and tablets and all that, maybe eventually 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years in the future, everybody will have one. And then you can get to the point where I'm talking about, where every kid in the classroom has, such a device, and they could really experience the curriculum, like firsthand. So I'm really happy for that. I'm really excited for the future of that. I'll probably be long gone, in that 30, 40 years from now when that finally fully takes an effect. But I'm excited for the future of that, definitely. And just general other things. Obviously it's good for shopping. I suppose, you could sit in your house or wherever you're at, or even, nowadays we have self-driving cars. Okay, so imagine, I don't know, 10, 20 years in the future, say there's more self-driving cars. There's self-driving Ubers and stuff like that. So you're riding in the back of a self-driving car, or Uber, or whatever, and you have your augmented reality glasses on, and you could shop. You can go on Amazon or whatever website and buy stuff, or you could read a book or look up videos, or that I really envision, basically, instead of like now you would just go on your phone. In the future of this, you would just, you have your goggles on. Maybe even in the back of the car, they might even have a pair that you can use, while you're sitting in the car. And you could do whatever. Again, you could shop, you could watch videos, you could, I don't know, look up science, you could go to the moon and walk around, do whatever you want, So, yeah, I see this augmented reality thing as something it's going to stick around. I really think that it's something that's going to stick around, because it seems like it's going to be beneficial, especially for education. I see a lot of potential, where children could really be immersed in whatever, educational thing, again, astronomy or history or whatever. I mean, you could go back and see the dinosaurs and, really see it and interact with it. And so as just for that alone, I really see potential in that. So yeah, I don't think that, basically what I'm saying is, I don't think, say Apple Vision Pro or these whatever other augmented reality devices, I don't think they're a fad. I think if one technology, that I would say it's going to be around for a while, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and you're going to see, future enhancements of or whatever. It's those devices. I think they're really cool. I think there's a lot of potential for them. Um, yeah, so I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I'm not an Apple um, fan myself. I wish they had like an Android or Google version of it because I prefer to use Android. Um, they might. I don't even know. I do. Again, I don't have the money for that anyways. They could have something for Google or Android or whatever. I don't have the money for it anyways. But again, eventually it should get cheaper. Again, just like when PCs first, personal computers first came out, they're very expensive. Even in our households, people, when say the mid '90s, when PCs were first getting popular. Families would just buy one PC for their house because they were so expensive. It's not like, oh, you get one for mom, you get one for dad, you get one for each of the kids. No, they're so expensive. It's like, okay, we get one computer for the whole house and put it in a general room and everybody uses it, But as they got cheaper, eventually everyone got their own PC, or again now, eventually a laptop or a tablet, and now cell phone or whatever. And so hopefully these AR devices will get cheap enough to where the mass public can have them and experience that. And I think people like it. I mean, I just can't express enough I think for education, it's going to be a great thing for education because being able to be immersed in what the teacher's talking about, that's such a great thing. I can't even imagine, again, sitting in an astronomy class and the teacher's talking about, whatever, Mars or whatever, and you could actually go there and walk around. You could experience the gravity of Mars, because maybe you have your little avatar and they're jumping around or something like that, and you could see, the atmosphere. You could see maybe Earth from Mars, and all. Just amazing, amazing. The potential for these things is high, I guess you would say. Anyhow, so I'm optimistic for it. I like it. Price tag is high for now. Regular guys like me, maybe you can't afford it. But eventually it should get down. Other companies will come out with their own version. Maybe not as good, maybe a little bit more crappy, but yeah. Anyhow, I'm gonna keep going. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.